Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
everyone. Hello.
Hello, and welcome back to Spectrum Mommies. How's it going, Lisette?
Everything's good. So much better. We had a rough time for a few days, but things are looking up. Things are a little better, a lot better. And yeah, it was just a few rough weeks. Just not like the week of Thanksgiving week was rough, but a little bit before that as well. But yeah, it's a brand new week, so we got to make the best of it.
Yeah, yeah.
How about you guys?
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and hope you had a great Thanksgiving, a great long break.
Who's the break for?
Not for us, that's for sure. That's for sure. Because
Yeah,
at least you know, with Angel was the whole week off. And
right.
I think
No.
yeah.
Yes. No. I feel like that's changed a little bit over the years because I remember when we were in school, we didn't have no week off. It
No,
was
no.
Thursday and Friday, maybe Friday, but Wednesday was the business as usual normally, and that was it. And I feel like with every passing year, it's more and more days off. And even depending if a few years ago, I know that Dade County had one county had school most of the week except Thursday and Friday. But charter school started because they can kind of tweak their hours a little bit. Um,
Right.
they started taking less days off during the year so that they could be off a full week during Thanksgiving. And I just feel like most of the schools have actually adapted to that as well. So yeah, it's a whole week, and then a month later you have 2 weeks. And to be clear, it's not that we don't want to be with our kids. Is that
No,
it is hard. And I don't mean just like hard, like parenting hard, because parenting is hard no matter what. Even when you have a neurotypical child,
right.
parenting has challenges depending on your situation. But it is very hard on the kids that they lose that structure. And for
Yeah,
many
that
kids,
routine. Yeah, that
it's
routine
that
that
routine.
they
And
go
yes.
and they wake up at a certain time, they get ready, this and
Mhm.
that. The whole
Yeah,
day at school, the whole time that,
right.
even the after school, whatever, you know, uh, therapies or whatever is going on with them, it
Yes,
gets challenging for them because
it
they're
does.
used to a certain pattern, and once
Yes.
that's taken off, it throws them off.
Definitely. So yeah, that's very difficult. We always struggle. I can tell you Justin struggles with that a lot, and this has always been an issue. I remember years ago we had to have him in before care when that was available at the school he used to go to, because and it wasn't because we needed it. Like, we had adequate staff with him at the time, but he didn't want to be home, and it would present problems, and he would have behaviors because he wanted, as soon as he was up, it was time to get up and go. And so, you know, thinking back on it now, we probably should have just worked through that. If we would have had like a great behavior team in place, we
Right.
should have worked through that so that he could learn to deal with those issues and with those changes. Um, and that's not the way that things were done back then, but within his case, but that's really how it should have been done. Because what's crazy, and I know that you might, because I think we've talked about this with the kids on the more severe side of the autism spectrum who really struggle. I mean, and again, lots of kids struggle with different things, but I know that this is common in with families like mine that I've talked to. Some families have actually opted to homeschool, as hard as that is.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Because, and then I remember you mentioning, or somebody told me, wouldn't that be worse? And actually, you don't know what you don't know. You don't miss what you don't have. So
Right.
if they are used to a routine and going, somewhere every single day, and then suddenly that stops, that can present an issue where, if they're not used to going every single day and you change it up and you do different things,
Right.
that actually, believe it or not, I've heard from some people that It really worked for them. I don't know, because I don't think that that would work for us unless we really had somebody. I will tell you, and he's in a better place now, in a better school. But back when COVID started, when I found out, I will never forget. It was March 17th of 2020 when I found out that Friday, because we literally found out, if you remember this, when the
Yes.
shutdown. We found
Right.
out on that Friday that we were not going to go back on Monday, and we didn't know when we were going to go back.
Right. It was like
There
an
was,
indefinite kind of thing, and it was
yeah,
crazy. And everybody
and
like, oh,
yeah, and they said that we would that it would probably be like 2 weeks. I think was what they said originally,
I think
and
so.
then they just kept extending it and extending it, and lots of kids were actually home. I know that my kids were home pretty much the rest of that school year and a few months from the following school year. As soon as I was able to send them back, I sent them back because they needed that. I will say that we were fortunate that at the time we did have a therapist. He wasn't that great at the end, but he was very nice he was very good at the beginning. Um, you know, Escobita nueva barre bien. But he learned more in that year that he was home about life skills than he had learned in a life skills program
Yeah.
years at that school. Honestly, I can tell you that hands down. He learned how to grab his own water.
With Angel, it was a little challenging at first because
Mm-hmm.
again, the break
Yeah,
on, the routine and, the
right.
getting up and everything in the computer. Where, when am I going? Where, and also adjusting to the whole idea of COVID or what was going on and everything. So
Right.
it was a
All of
little
that.
challenging at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, but surprisingly enough, also
Yes.
Angel
They
like
come through.
got through it and
Yeah.
he did it. I mean, yo me quedaba mirando y I was like,
Yeah. I
damn, this
remember.
kid amazes me. Yeah, I get it. Believe me. It
Mhm.
was super challenging. The break of routine, it it can it can be it
Yeah.
can be yeah. Que
Yeah.
no hay
That's,
palabra a veces because I tell you,
right.
um they and even Angel, like he's okay with it, kind of, pero tú ves que ya his behavior starts changing a little bit and you have to redirect more than usual.
Yeah.
Ya tú ves que ya como que, okay, let's go. All right.
Because the antsy.
What's up? Yeah.
Right.
So you could see it on, in his behavior a little bit of, and he even told me at one point last week, he goes, Mom, I'm, 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 I'm using my, what was it? My, frustration scanner because he's been, so he's like, you know, I'm I'm getting I'm getting too excited or algo así me dijo. And I'm like, really? Oh, okay. So that's good. So let's do, tú sabes. That's another thing. When you're home with them, it's almost like, okay, what's next? En qué te entretengo?
Yes.
What do we need to do, And
Right.
it's like, es agotante.
Yeah.
Ya para like 7 or 8 o'clock, ya yo estoy que ya, I'm like, leave me alone. Nobody talk to me,
Mhm.
please.
I mean, with the last few breaks, like teacher planning days and stuff like that, Justin has done pretty well, like better than he had done before. But we also have a good team. Like we have a very good therapist right now, who's been with us for a little while, for over 6 months. And so I think that he keeps them engaged and entertained, and that definitely helps. But this has always been an issue for us. And last year, in fact, when he first started the crisis, when things got really bad last year, it actually started during one of those breaks
Mhm.
where the school had closed down several days due to rain and due to there being a flood. And then Thanksgiving, then Veterans Day came and Thanksgiving Day, and there was so many days off. Like he would go to school for a day or two, and then there was days off. Now, I'm not saying that that started the crisis. I really do believe that there was some kind of underlying medical condition at the time, which little by little we did find some, and we addressed them. But
Right.
those days can be very, very difficult for a lot of families. Families like mine, we struggle definitely.
Yeah.
hard.
So, guys, the reason why we're, saying all of this is because, as you see, we're doing a Zoom call. We're not in
Mhm.
on the studio,
Right.
in the live studio. Um, and the reason is that it was
Right.
challenging a little bit for Justin.
Right. Yeah.
So tell us about it. Tell us what happened.
Yeah.
There were good
So
moments and there were
there were
not so good moments.
so we since Justin was discharged this from the last admission 7 months ago, we had not had any physical aggression, and we had not had much at all, if any, property destruction or self-injurious behaviors. Those three things were huge, and we were having major,
Major.
major
Hmm.
issues. Um, when we were in full-blown crisis between October of 2022 and April of 2023, we were having aggressive, severely aggressive episodes several times a day. Um, we had been aggression free for 7 months. Um, was parenting and this life still very hard? Yes, it was still very hard, and it will continue that. And he is. It's a very challenging situation, and what might, like, when I say no because things are good now, um, somebody from the outside that walks in will be like, "Is she out of her mind? Is this for good?" Like, because you don't live in this world, and so you're,
Yeah, when we say that
when we
things
say
are
good,
good,
yes,
is
we
that
mean
they're
that we're not.
manageable in a sense of
Yes,
we can, I guess, control or a little
we
bit
can
more,
cope.
and we
No one's hurt, and
exactly,
we're sleeping 4 hours a night.
exacto.
Like that's exactly what I mean by that. So, but yes, sometimes, I mean, and we've shown highlights, we've shown reels, we've shown Justin's graduation when he was able to walk in his school. Like, we showed a lot of things that took place after his last admission in April. So things were looking up. They were a lot better. We were having more successes than losses, 100% hands down. But we started noticing over the last few weeks that it almost felt like little things were coming back. We were seeing the every
But
so often.
this has been happening, maybe I want to say already a couple of months, that it's
Yeah.
like
So
it shows a little bit, then it gets
we
better. It
worked through it.
shows a little bit and then
Yes.
it gets better. And I
Yes.
feel like then this long break kind of like
I think that if there was something there, I always say, like, when
lo
things are like
destapó.
dormant. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
So we ended up having, so I guess I should probably go back to the week prior. The week prior, I ended up getting in a car accident. I was luckily okay through the grace of God. Honestly, I don't even know how. My car wasn't even that damaged. I already found out what the damage is, and it's about $3,000. Um,
Yeah.
and it just could have been
So much
so
worse. Yeah.
much worse because the type of accident that it was. Just for context. So, if you've ever been on the Florida Turnpike, okay, it's not. It's pretty dangerous, to say the least.
Right.
And so imagine that you're on the Florida Turnpike and there's cars coming and going, and all of a sudden, the weather was extremely, extremely bad. In fact, to the point where they closed schools here in Broward the following day due to flooding, or actually that day they were closed. Well, Dade County didn't close. And so I was, Chloe goes to a Dade County public school because she's in a charter. And so we're able to keep her there. And I was driving, and my car totally hydroplaned, I guess would be the right word. And it started spinning. And and if you're wondering if I was holding onto the wheel going, ah! Yes, I was. It was. Now thinking about it, I'm like, this would have been like a freaking movie. But yes, once it
Guys,
stopped,
we laugh about it, pero in that moment you're not laughing, and you I don't know what came out of your mouth, but God knows what
my,
comes out of mine.
because the reason I mentioned that is because I was telling the story about what happened to my sister-in-law's boyfriend, and he goes to me. So, and he's a firefighter and or rescue, and he goes, I have a question though, because he's really funny, and he's like, I have a question, and he goes, were you screaming the whole time? And I go, yeah. I was like going around. So, but anyway, yes. So kind of like that. But then once the car stopped, I'm facing the opposite direction of where I was going in the first place,
Dios
and
mío.
cars were coming. So I knew quickly I had to get out of the way, but I'm freaked out. So luckily, everything was fine. I'm still working through that. My car's still not fixed, but it's drivable, but it's still not fixed. And hopefully it should be fixed shortly.
But that was the week
So that was the
prior
week
of.
prior. Yeah, that was the week prior. And we were already starting to see little issues here and there. And then I also stopped to think now, that was a very stressful situation. And we've always said that like our kids feed off our energy a lot.
Yes.
So I hadn't even thought of that. I just thought about that now as we're talking. Like it's
Plus
very
the
tough.
full moon
Yes.
and all that stuff. There's some people that don't believe
Right.
into the whole energy thing and the full
Absolutely.
moon and all that stuff, but
Mhm.
I do believe it.
Yeah.
I do believe it.
Yeah. And honestly, we've talked about this. The reason why, we've always talked about the reason we do this is for transparency and to make
Hmm.
people feel less alone and crack a little joke here and there and make, light of things. But that's the main reason. And I told you this recently. The main reason why I haven't wanted to get into full detail about what happened last year and about everything that transpired is mainly because of that. Because I don't want to bring that back and stir up any energy, any negative energy, because we're still very, very affected by the way that last year ended. So that's another thing that to think about. That's the reason why we haven't brought up a lot of stuff, and we're gonna talk about it eventually. We're just not ready to go there, and it's because honestly, I do believe in that energy. So I don't know if that had part to do with, but either way, that was how the week started. And it just kept like little things here and there. He wasn't sleeping. Let me tell you something. People need to sleep. And I saw a meme a while back that said, do you remember how difficult it was to take care of a newborn? Where they would
Oh
get
my
up
God.
every 2 to
Yes.
3 hours. Well,
Yes.
think that many parents of kids on the autism spectrum deal with that for the rest of their lives. Let that sink in. So I remember having a newborn and being so exhausted and not being able to keep up with the feedings and all that other stuff. Well, we deal with that almost on a daily basis. So we were starting to see that he really wasn't sleeping the way that he was sleeping. We are starting to see little things here and there. Until Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day, things we went. We knew he was off. We decided to go out for a little bit. We went out, and then we had a major, major aggression behavior in the car. We did get injured. Luckily, we did not have an accident, but I don't even know how. But my car
So you
is.
were driving?
We were driving on the highway,
Who
coming
was
from a.
driving?
So Thomas was driving. I was in the back seat with Chloe, and Justin was in the front seat when he started just attacking him. And we were on the highway. The car swerved for all the way from the right lane to the left lane. I'm pretty sure drivers in the area thought we were probably under the influence.
Ay, qué locura.
I wanted him to pull over, but he couldn't pull over because you're going at a top speed in the highway. He finally was able to pull over while getting beat up. He is injured. Um, the Neosporin that we're using, like the triple antibiotic that he's using on his body, is amazing. So it's healing very, very nicely. But he, in the process, besides him getting hurt, Thomas getting hurt, um, he went at it, with his hands and mostly with his kicking. He kicked the steering wheel. He kicked. So to put this into perspective, I have to check the weather report before going out because if I need to use my wipers, I can't go out because he broke off when he kicked numerous times. Oh yeah, and also now my car's in Spanish, and no comprendo. That's
Okay,
another
your
thing.
car is in Spanish.
He must have pressed something and everything in the when he was kicking, everything on my dash now is in Spanish. Cambia el aceite pronto. Estás sin aceite. Like, and I'm like, first of all, a mí no me estés peleando. I feel I feel like Spanish words are so much
Stronger.
like stronger. Like you could call a bitch someone all day, but the minute you go puta, it's like you're
Puta. It's like, oh,
so yeah. So now the car's telling me, telling me off every morning, telling me that I need to change my
you
oil.
know, it's funny. You just reminded me. An old friend of mine, and if
Mm-hmm.
he's watching this, he's gonna crack up. There was a movie, and for the life of me, I don't remember. It was era algo de esa. It was a
When Harry met Sally.
no, 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 no. It was a Spanglish movie back in the 80s. Que hicieron como
Hanky Panky.
no, chica vieja, que hanky
I know.
panky.
No, I don't know. I've never heard that, but I mean, I've never seen that, but I've heard of
Salsa,
it.
something salsa, something. Bueno, anyway, whatever. So the guy, it was a Spanglish kind of movie,
Okay.
and then the guy goes and le reprocha a la hermana, where have you been? This and that, whatever. And then she's like, I'm going out. She was very flirty, very, whatever. Y entonces le dice, no, no, no estés ahí con los hombres y que no sé qué. Y le dijo, no seas puta. Y ella se vira. Pero it's one of those
And it's not supposed to
very
be.
dramatic Spanish, whatever. Se vira así, dice, no me llames puta, cabrón. Right? So we would always joke around. He would be
Yeah.
like, puta. And I'm like,
No me llames
no me
puta.
llames puta, cabrón.
That's awesome.
So,
You
when
did
you
that
said that,
totally
and
like
it's,
novela voice.
yes, because it's
That's
very like,
awesome.
y como se viran así, no me
Yeah,
llames
very
puta,
dramatic.
cabrón. Very dramatic, very, all
Yeah.
over the. Es como viendo una novela.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So that's what it is. So like now my car is telling me all this stuff in Spanish. The radio stay like everything in the on the screen, like on the dash is in Spanish now. And everything like on my radio, everything's in Spanish. But that's not
No
here
te
or
he
there.
dicho puta, ¿no?
No, not yet.
No,
But it could be coming. But the funny thing is that yeah, like I mean it's funny, but it's not funny. Like this is a real problem. I gotta fix this.
yeah.
Now my so when he was kicking, he kicked the lever that's up by the steering wheel. That's the one that you kind of bring it up or down to turn on the windshield wipers. So I don't have that anymore. It's actually hanging. Like it broke al rente and it's hanging. So I cannot use my windshield wipers. I could leave it either. Thomas could he grabs the screwdriver
Oh, hold on.
and he could either leave it on the on position for me, and then I look like some crazy with sunny skies and 90-degree weather. I'm driving around with the windshield wipers. Yeah, because you listen, people use umbrellas when it's not raining for the sun, but you're not supposed to really use the wipers unless it's raining. So I went to a place yesterday and they're going to help me, they're going to order the parts and they're going to help me fix it. And, that's autism tax, I see. I call a lot of the things that I spend money on where I forget to return stuff or, I call it ADHD tax. Well, this is like autism tax because now I have to fix all these items to make my car safe so that I can drive. And one of the things what he did was he pulled my mirror, which caused and ripped it off. So now I need a mirror too. But that caused the glass to shatter. Yes, the rear mirror. So that caused the glass to shatter. Now, mind you, this is the second glass in less than a year. Last year, when we were in full-blown crisis, we had both cars' windshield destroyed. But you know what? He hasn't really had one after that. I think he had one little one after that. He's been able to control those feelings. So it was a very difficult situation, but since then we were having just still major problems with sleep. It seems that there's some digestive issues, which of course there is. It always comes down to that. But other than that, little by little, he's been a little bit better every day. We saw the psychiatrist 2 days ago through Zoom. And now Justin's always like a jigsaw puzzle.
But you
So
guys were even considering.
we were considering bringing him back to the hospital, which we really didn't want to do. The doctor did say to go ahead and bring him if we felt that we needed to. We didn't want to do that. It's a very traumatic situation. So we were really just trying our very hardest to not get to that point. So the doctor decided, because he's not sleeping and he needs to sleep. And I don't mean it just so we could sleep. I mean, yes, we need to sleep, but he needs sleep.
Right.
He cannot be, just jumping and wired the entire day, 24 hours a day. He just can't. His central nervous system needs to rest. And so for the last 3 or 4 days, each day has been a little better than the one before.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I am happy to report he had, by all accounts, a pretty good day at school. He came home, the evening was okay, and the doctor had just prescribed a brand new sleep medication. We gave it the first night. He went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that backfired. But we didn't give him any sleep medication last night. Because I'm like, you know what? We gave it and it didn't work. So let's just not give him anything. We didn't give him anything last night. He went to bed at 9 and woke up at 8 today.
Okay. All right.
Go figure. Go figure.
Go figure.
And I've spoke to the
Yeah, but
teacher.
I feel like with Justin is like a rare breed
yes.
of God knows where, I don't know.
Yeah.
Como si
Yeah.
fuera ¿cómo se llama? I don't know, like an alien, like something out of,
My little
because,
alien.
sí, porque cosas que no le pasan a otro, le pasan a él.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
medication, per se.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, there's certain medications, I'm not going to name them here, but there's certain medications that should be a freaking horse tranquilizer. Like I remember my sister-in-law telling me, how can he not respond to that medication? We give that to gunshot victims, like when she was working in trauma, we give that to like gunshot victims so that they can like be quiet and we can work on them. That should knock you the hell. No, not with Justin. Justin, it makes him worse. He cannot take that particular medication. Any benzos is what they're called. He can't take any of those. So, he really is a mystery. He really is.
He
but
is.
yeah, so listen, bottom line is you need sleep. Sleep is essential for everyone.
It is. For everyone, really, yeah.
So
yeah, even us, we get cranky when we don't get enough sleep. We might have a bad night, pero ya by the second, third day, ya estamos que,
And you know what's funny? So the doctor put him on a new medication for sleep, and which I think I mentioned that. But last night I didn't get to mention. Last night I didn't give it to him, and he slept beautifully. I don't know if I mentioned that already before, but
you did.
Yeah. But with him, this kid is like he's like a puzzle. And all this time that he wasn't doing all these days, he also wasn't unhappy. And I think that's where I was originally going is we actually posted quite a few reels of the time, so the reel that we posted of him dancing in the pool to the merengue music that was playing from the house next door, that they were having like a gender reveal. Fun fact. So during that time, the reason he was even out there was because a hose from the filter of the pool had bursted. And the neighbor comes knocking on the door saying, there's water going everywhere. Something's happening in your pool. Thomas runs outside to see what the problem is, to see what happened with the pool. And so he has to run to the shed to grab duct tape, to put it around the hose to stop the water. Because, we were going to have to fix it, or buy a new hose. But at that moment, he had to stop the water.
You needed to do something fast.
He needed to do something to stop the water. Well, during that moment that he went to the shed to go get it, Justin ran outside and jumped in the pool. So and then Thomas puts the duct tape on the tape. He's like, and he's looking at him.
Y con esa agua fría.
I don't know how he does it. It's like it doesn't even faze him. I wouldn't be able to let him to this morning. This morning he goes, I want pool, and I'm like, oh kid, get out of here. Because Today is a little chilly here for us.
Yes, yes.
But no, it wasn't that bad that day. But yeah, I really don't know how he does it. I really don't know how he does it. It's just
Wow.
crazy. But yeah, if you
When
haven't
Sergio
already
saw
checked
it,
out,
when Sergio saw the video,
yeah,
he's like, "Mom, that water must be cold." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, pero that's just it for you."
yeah, yeah. One time he did that in December. I'm sorry, this dog is making major noise. Anyway, can you stop digging? You're not gonna go anywhere.
Ah, ¿quieres hacer un hueco en el piso?
See, and
¿Para dónde
she's
va?
digging. I don't know. Um, but yeah, if you haven't already checked out the recent reels that we posted, that was definitely a good one. And also there
We
was a
made it
reel.
into a YouTube short also.
Oh,
So,
great. Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
So
And the
we have
next
it on
day,
our social and we have it on YouTube.
perfect. Good, good. So, and also, one of my favorites is the one of Angel, which we posted as well. Angel praying on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
That was beautiful as well. So if you haven't already checked it out, check it out.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Last week, we had a break
Yes.
and we didn't do a part, an episode.
Right.
And but we did meet with Lola and Victor from Piaja
Right.
Sync.
Yes.
And we had a good chat about what they're doing with cancer survivors, which
Excellent work.
when we first saw it, we were like, oh no, but we need to talk to these people because
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, because I never really seen, I know people do it.
Right.
There's, but I haven't seen it, in our area or anything
But
like
it's
that.
it's
So,
one of those things like we always say, you don't know what you don't know.
right,
When you don't have anybody in your family that has actually gone through this, you just
right.
don't realize the effects of, let alone, I mean, just being a cancer survivor, but the psychological effects, and also um the way that women, when they have a double mastectomy or even a single mastectomy, like, they want to feel whole again, and they're bringing this back to these women.
Yes.
So that is off the charts amazing, the work that they're doing. They're going to be doing it, they're doing it for women that need it, for that. So that what they do is exactly, what is it that they do, either, because I know you know a little more. They actually do a tattoo of.
They do a tattoo. It's like, the thing is that with Victor,
Mhm.
his tattoos are like super 3D, like
Amazing. Yes.
major. Like they look like photographs. I mean,
Yes.
I've seen some of the stuff that he has, and
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
stuff that Lola posts
damn.
is incredible, because she is the artist behind
Yeah,
this particular project, and it's amazing.
right. So I guess, together they're actually tattooing. Because whenever you have you go through this, you end up with no areola, like, no
Right.
nipple, no area,
Right.
whatever.
And even
So,
though usually you could do reconstructive surgery, and even insurances will
yes,
pay for the implants and everything if you've gone
some
through
don't.
this. Some don't, but they don't actually go this far, where they
No,
actually, it's just, it's very half-assed, if you ask me, is what they,
yes.
it's okay,
Yeah.
there, you got the boob, great. Like, it's
Like, no
not,
pidas más.
no, yeah.
So they actually tattoo it and it's like it
Hmm.
looks super real.
It really does.
And I guess you just gotta, the way that how we were talking to them and how Lola was talking about, how
Hmm.
you see it in their faces once they see themselves with with it on, like it changes their face, their demeanor, everything, and how Victor was also saying about how some women have a hard time having into being intimate with
Intimacy with
their
their spouses after this,
right,
yeah, sure.
and
That's
it
amazing.
creates that psychologically that's
Right.
that
Sure.
that takes a toll.
Yeah.
It takes a
So
toll.
not
So
only are they very human about this, and they're incredible artists, and Lola is doing an amazing job at I think, and I think Victor touched on that and we're gonna play the video, but he also said that coming from her, because she's a woman, there is like that special relationship that she builds with these women when she's going to, and it's very different when you're just a tattoo on, like you're the tattoo shop. You're the fact that you're doing this for people is amazing, but I think that she also develops a bond with these people as well because
no,
of
no,
both of them being
seguro.
women.
That's for sure.
um
That's for sure.
but I mean, it's just the fact that they're even, doing this, not just, you know providing their talents, but also free of charge. I think that they'll
That's
be doing that
the major
for a little
thing that,
while.
yeah, for a while.
Hmm.
I think until he was talking about
I think he said
January,
January or February. I'm not sure
February,
where that's going
hmm
to end. We can always
that
ask.
they're gonna do it free,
Yeah.
free of charge. Um, in the video, you'll see more details and
Right.
where to contact them. But we saw this and I thought and he was great, very gracious. Like, I
Right.
contacted him and he
Hmm.
was like, yeah, let's talk.
Right.
So, and we're even invited because they're gonna move. So we're even invited.
Nice. Nice. I mean, listen,
So
I've always wanted to get a tattoo. And, but now that I see, even if they are no longer doing this or it's not affecting me or anybody in my family, I almost want to really, besides their talent, and I mean, of course, you want to do it with someone that's very good, and he's obviously very good. This place is very good, but I almost really want to get it with them just because of what they're doing, and the
yes,
why would you, I want to take my business there,
right, right,
so that's
right.
awesome. Awesome.
So yeah, guys, we're gonna put the video. I mean, we did a clip and we shared it in our social media
Social.
and in
Mhm.
YouTube and all that stuff. But we're gonna share the full chat
Right.
and we'll be right back with, we have Lola and Victor from Piajas Inc. and you can see our chat. We'll be
Enjoy.
back. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Hello, everyone. Estamos con SpectrumMamis y con Victor y Lola from Piajas Inc.
Un saludo,
Buenos días.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here.
Ujú.
Nada, nosotros a la verdad que no vimos el proyecto que ustedes tienen y nos encantó, no, la idea es súper.
Ujú.
Y pues nada más, dinos cómo empezó todo esto.
Bueno, gracias
Y de
por
lo que estamos
invitarnos.
hablando.
Sí, gracias por invitarnos y que mujeres y proyectos como que ustedes tienen también, que hablan de otras cosas, no exactamente del cáncer de mama, cosas así, es importante para nosotros también y para que las demás gente que no lo sepa se entere de este proyecto que nosotros tenemos, que no somos los únicos que lo hacemos por suerte, pero queremos llevarlo a la magnitud que debe tener, ¿no? Eh, Esto empezó en el caso de nosotros hace unos 4 o 5 años, como en el 2019. Un amigo nuestro, mío y de Alberto, el esposo de Lola, que es mi manager, ya había hecho este proyecto en España y se trata de ayudar a las mujeres con cáncer de mama cuando ellas se recuperan ya de todo el proceso, de la quimio, de todo. Le extirpan, por supuesto, los dos senos o uno, dependiendo de cuál es el que tenga
Ujú.
grave. La mayoría de las veces son los dos. Entonces, después de eso, ya el médico termina, pero la parte que nosotros ayudamos y le cambia la vida completamente es, después de recuperada, nosotros le tatuamos de forma completamente real, hiperrealista, lo que es la aureola y el pezón del seno. La mayoría de esas mujeres pierden eso en la operación, pero el médico no tiene la opción de ponérselo. Todavía no entiendo el por qué, pero nosotros tenemos esa solución. Y es, después de eso, nosotros le podemos tatuar la aureola y el pezón completamente realista, que la verdad que el trabajo que se hace es impresionante. Los testimonios de las mismas mujeres, los familiares, se impactan, literalmente. Nosotros,
No, de verdad que yo he visto fotos y he visto cosas que tú has
Ujú.
puesto y
Sí.
I mean, es una cosa increíble. Y aparte de todos los tattoos que tú haces, también son like super 3D y bien, súper bien hecho.
sí,
So,
esa es una cosa que iba a decir. El trabajo lo hacemos en conjunto. E incluso la mayor parte del trabajo lo hace Lola. Simplemente me interesa mucho el proyecto porque es bien bonito y a través del estudio mío de Viajes Inc. Tratamos de lidiar con eso, ¿no? Y de conectar las dos cosas, pero la verdad el trabajo fuerte, de hacer el trabajo, de quizás ya lidiar más directamente con la mujer, también lo quisimos hacer. Lola ya tiene experiencia en eso, lo hace en una técnica que es completamente de maquillaje, que se llama micropigmentación. Ahí Lola va a explicar mejor la técnica,
Ujú.
cómo funciona y eso, pero no es lo mismo. La idea mía con esto y lo que me interesa a mí, poner mi cara con respecto a este proyecto es eh, cambiarle la visión del tatuaje de la gente, lo que tiene la visión del tatuaje. Y es que el
exacto.
tatuaje es algo o de delincuente o de preso. Ya por suerte se ha ido cambiando mucho eso, pero todavía hay como un estigma en la sociedad y
Muy
nosotros
grande.
queremos es,
Ujú.
lo que queremos es aportar desde el trabajo de nosotros cómo cambiarle la vida a una persona, ¿me entiendes? Entonces se
Ujú,
le cambia muchísimo porque hay mujeres que pasan 10 15 años y no se desnudan delante de su esposo o no lo
Ujú.
hacen en su vida por complejo de no tener algo tan... Y es una cosa tan sencilla, literalmente nosotros le cambiamos la vida a una mujer en una hora, en una
Es
hora
de-
cambia la mujer.
esa seguridad, esa autoestima que han perdido en el proceso largo y doloroso de lo que es el tratamiento y todo desde prácticamente que te dicen que tienes cáncer, ¿no? Entonces, el médico, como bien ha dicho Víctor, le devuelve lo que es el volumen mediante la prótesis, en algunos casos y en otros no, le realiza también lo que sería el pezón, la bolita. Es verdad que cuando la mujer llega a su casa y se mira en el espejo, sigue estando incompleta, sigue
ujú.
teniendo falta. Entonces, eso es lo que nosotros hacemos. Nosotros es poner ese granito de arena, devolviéndole esa areola, incluso pezón, lo más realista posible. Y es que desde el momento que terminas el trabajo y la mujer se ve en el espejo, le has devuelto ya la vida. O
Te
sea,
cambia
las
la vida, sí.
palabras con la mirada ya te lo está agradeciendo y ya es, es un proceso un poquillo.
Debe ser muy gratificante para ustedes y es algo que le estás haciendo, le estás cambiando la vida y el tener el diagnóstico de una vez es un impacto muy grande en la vida de una
Sí.
persona. Y entonces el poder verse ya que está curada, que ya, ya puede seguir con la vida y que ustedes le hagan esto para tener un poco de más autoestima.
Ujú.
Eso es
Es que
inmenso para todas
queda,
las mujeres.
queda inclusive también del tratamiento, queda lo psicológico.
Sí.
Exactamente. Y esto, a mí me imagino que tiene que cambiar la vida de las mujeres en una manera que ya como que es una ayuda muy grande a lo psicológico que le queda a la persona después que ha pasado por esos momentos.
Nosotros la semana pasada, Lola hizo a una señora que fue con su esposo y estuvimos hablando literalmente. Tenemos siempre una cita previa para explicarle cómo es el proceso, enseñarle
Ujú.
todas las cosas. E incluso ya cuando se va a tatuar, nosotros le hacemos exactamente cómo le va a quedar. O sea, un trabajo, primero le tomamos la foto y
Wow.
programas que nosotros tenemos, que son los que utilizo yo para tatuar también, ahí le montamos
Claro.
cómo va a quedar. ¿Qué pasa? Todos los senos no quedan igual. Hay senos que quedan un poquito más distorsionados que otros, dependiendo de la cirugía, y hay otros que se quedan completamente reales, solamente le falta lo que es el color a la
Ujú.
onda para darle la forma.
Right.
Pero, por ejemplo, esa señora nos estaba explicando ella y el marido que llevan 20 años en este país, tenían todo,
Wow.
una casa, etcétera, etcétera, y lo perdieron todo completamente. No es solamente la parte de que estás tu vida en peligro, que vas a perder la vida, sino que, y la autoestima y todo esto, sino que también la parte económica es fuerte y eso le golpea.
Claro.
Pero por suerte tienen a su hijo y viven en casa de su hijo, pero ellos nos estaban diciendo que también de hacerlo,
Ujú.
de regalarle eso, de hacerlo gratis durante todo esto
Wow.
que estamos haciendo, porque lo estamos haciendo durante varios meses gratis, porque es la forma de nosotros ayudarla. Lo único que le pedimos es que nos ayuden a grabar esos testimonios, a grabar el proceso. No tienen que salir su cara, simplemente grabar el proceso. Pero también el otro día mismo grabamos la reacción del esposo cuando la vio.
Wow.
Él no vio el proceso, él estaba afuera. Y cuando la vio, ¿sabes? Se emocionó, nos emocionamos todos porque es impresionante.
¿Y por cuánto tiempo van a hacer esto?
No, esto va a ser indefinido completamente.
Wow.
Ok.
Okay.
Lo estamos haciendo por ahora. A lo mejor lo extendemos un poco más, pero completamente gratis a todas las mujeres que estén pasando por ese proceso.
Increíble.
Hasta,
Completamente gratis hasta enero. ¿Qué
Ok.
pasa con esto? Nosotros vamos a hacer un evento en un estudio nuevo que yo estoy haciendo. Yo estoy
Nice.
cambiando el estudio nuevo, poniendo, el estudio va a ser mucho más grande, más céntrico, es un lugar súper céntrico. Entonces, vamos a hacer, que esto es un plan que lo tenemos para a largo plazo, impartir charlas sobre esto, queremos hacer un podcast sobre las mujeres, que las mujeres hablen, no solamente hacer el tatuaje ya, sino hacer un trabajo de conciencia detrás de eso, para
Okay.
que queremos trabajar con los médicos directamente, para que los médicos, si nos pueden invitar a eventos que ellos hagan y hablarles. ¿Qué pasa? Las mujeres ni los médicos a lo mejor saben que nosotros tenemos esta posibilidad
que
Ujú.
y a lo mejor no lo hacen por el desconocimiento.
que desconoce, tiene esta última paso, ¿no? Digamos, es como la última hoja del libro para cerrarlo totalmente. Y hay muchas
Claro.
personas que conocen que se puede hacer y que encima nosotros le damos la posibilidad de que lo hacemos gratuito, ¿no? Que lo económico no sería un problema.
Ya. Y también tal vez le dan pena o hay muchas personas que tal vez, aunque sea gratuito, pero que le dan pena de que la vean y todas esas cosas. Lo que ustedes están tratando de hacer es conciencia de que estén a gusto y que puedan cambiar su
Claro,
forma,
claro.
su vida, su forma.
E incluso
So,
una de las ideas principales de eso, además de que Lola es la que hace el trabajo, ¿no? Eh, la imagen de Lola siendo mujer, no tiene
Yes.
casi tatuajes, es diferente. Estamos tratando de cambiar eso, pero por ejemplo, yo tengo el cuerpo casi completo tatuado. No doy una imagen agresiva, pero a lo mejor la persona, como quiera que sea, no es lo mismo hacer eso de una mujer que ha pasado por ese proceso con un hombre que lo he
that's
hecho
right.
y han estado muy agradecidas, ¿entiendes? Pero el impacto visual va a ser diferente. Entonces Lola, al ser mujer, se identifica un poco más, no sé qué. Yo hablo de la parte
Definitivamente.
técnica, ¿no? Pero ya la empatía más directa es con Lola, ¿no?
That's awesome. That's awesome. De
Yeah.
verdad que cuando lo vimos nos impactó y de verdad que
Enseguida lo hablamos de eso. Yo no, o sea, yo no tengo a nadie así cercano que ha pasado por eso, pero solamente pensar desde el principio, los cambios psicológicos y los cambios, a mí todo eso y cuando ella me habló sobre eso, quedamos encantados. Qué idea, la verdad.
Muchas gracias.
buenísima idea.
Gracias.
Buenísima
Buenísimo.
idea. Y bueno, ¿dónde están localizados ahora? Que
Ahora
ya me
mismo
dijiste
estamos,
que vas a mudarte, pero
Ajá.
por ahora.
sí. Estamos en proceso de remodelación del otro estudio y ahora mismo estamos, que es el estudio viejo que teníamos desde hace 7 años, es en 128 Hialeah Drive, Hialeah, Florida 33010. Ese es el estudio que tenemos desde siempre, desde que abrí el estudio. En plena Hialeah, no tiene mucha
Mm.
medida porque es en Hialeah Drive, al lado de Okeechobee, antes de cruzar el puente de Miami Springs.
Ujú.
Es ahí.
De
Ok,
Miami
ahí.
Springs.
Ajá. De todas maneras, también las mujeres que vean esto, que estén pasando por ese proceso, nos pueden escribir directamente por Instagram, a mí, a Lola, al Instagram del estudio, que es viajas guión bajo Inc. O nos pueden llamar al 786-953-5417. Ahí le vamos a contestar y
Perfecto.
damos su cita. Y esta semana Lola tiene otra señora que se va a hacer. Ya tenemos como 4 o 5 mujeres que han ido y ya se les ha agendado, se les ha puesto todo como es.
Perfecto. ¿Y tienen algún número de teléfono donde puedan llamar también?
Sí, 786-953-5417.
Ok, perfecto.
Ahí nos pueden comunicar. Les va a salir una voz seductora de hombre español, macho alfa español, que es Alberto, el esposo de Lola, que es lo que te decía antes de empezar, que cada uno, nosotros somos la cara visible de esto, pero detrás hay gente también. Mi mujer
Sí,
también
sí.
ayuda, Alberto coordina todo, muchas cosas, ¿no? Y es
Es
importante
un
lo
equipo.
que hace cada uno.
No, ya
Sí.
tú tienes un equipo bastante grande
Sí, sí, sí.
en tu tattoo place, no sé cómo se
Sí,
dice, estudio,
en el estudio
estudio, ajá.
somos, contando la asistente, entre artistas y todo, somos alrededor de 12 personas. Ahora en el
Wow.
estudio nuevo van a haber mucho más.
Wow, wow.
Perfecto.
Mucha suerte y gracias por hacer algo esto con los mamis.
Ya.
Oh, gracias a vosotras por también ayudar y aportar bueno, que todo esto llegue a más oídos, a más personas
Definitivo.
y poco a poco todo.
Definitivo. Como nosotros podemos ayudar o como podemos seguir, también estamos haciendo un little, ¿cómo se llama? Un little video y lo vamos a poner en el podcast, en el próximo podcast.
Ujú.
Y como podamos ayudarlos y promote
Claro,
Ya.
esta iniciativa, porque
Ya.
nosotros hablamos de autismo, nosotros hablamos de family life, la vida de familia, y tratamos de traer información a
Ujú.
nuestros oyentes o la gente que nos ve. Pero esto, no matter what, es una cosa bella, de verdad.
Sí,
gracias.
sí.
Y bueno, ya están invitadas para cuando hagamos el evento. No tenemos fecha todavía, estamos esperando todo, pero cuando hagamos el evento con las mujeres, están invitadas.
Ay,
Y
gracias.
yo siempre quería un tatú, así que a lo mejor es tiempo.
Ahí
Sí,
vaya y hacemos el
a lo
tatu.
mejor nos embullamos.
Los
Seguro.
embullamos, al fin.
Nos ponemos SpectrumMamis aquí.
A lo
Seguro.
mejor nos embullamos.
Bueno, muchas gracias y
Muchas
nada, que
gracias.
vaya bien.
Muchas gracias, un placer.
Un
Bueno,
Gracias, hasta
placer,
luego.
gracias. Que
bye.
estén bien. So yeah, that video and that little clip, I hope you enjoyed it and you got all the information that you may need.
Ujú.
Share it with other people
Yes, please.
and bring some good, we need some more of that, I guess.
Ujú.
Of people doing good like that and bringing hope to those who have survived cancer. So yes. So anything else before we wrap this up? Guys, we didn't make this video like anything in particular or any
Right. It
particular
was more,
topic.
I think, like a check-in,
Yeah.
wanted to say
Post
hi, tell you what we're up
Thanksgiving
to.
and
Right.
the craziness of the whole week of the kids off and us trying to get back to normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, next week we're gonna have
Mhm.
we're back in the swing of things. But anything else, Madame?
So, yeah, I guess we could share. So, disclaimer, if you are watching this with your children, uh, and your children, um, yeah, like if you're watching this with your children, then don't. With your little children and believers.
You'll see why. We're
You'll
not
see
gonna
why. But
get,
anyway,
raunchy or anything like
no,
that,
no, it's
or
not. It's not.
it's not gonna be like that. But you'll see
No,
why.
no.
But just in case,
Yeah.
any small children that may be listening,
Right.
tell them to go out.
Yeah, exactly. So funny story. It's not even so much a story, but um a few weeks ago, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, Chloe and I were having a conversation in the car, and she's told me over time, like over the last year or so, she's mentioned a little bit about Santa not being real. And I've kind of like dismissed it, or I've told her, oh, Santa's real for you if you believe, and and she couldn't understand. Now, there's the thing. My kid is very logical. So, and she's really a well mannered kid. Like she really, I, how can I say? I guess logical would be the best. I could in the beginning, she was terrified. I couldn't do like the elf on the shelf because she was terrified of it. And the reason she was terrified of it because objects are not supposed to like disappear and cause ruckus in the middle of the night. You know, they're just not, right? So that didn't make a lot of sense to her. Finally, then she started getting into it, and then she wanted it. And I never wanted the damn thing. I really didn't. Like, I really was against the whole elf on the shelf thing. Like, I have enough problems in my life and complications as to wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh shit, I forgot to put the elf out. And then have to like, go back into, one of those pages to see what to do. But she wanted to do it, so we did it. So over the last few months, she's been asking a lot, or she's asked a few times because she saw wrapping paper at my mom's house that was in my mom's closet that she had some presents wrapped in that were Christmas presents. So again, my logical child was like, Santa must not be real because how does he have the same wrapping paper as Abuelita? Again, I tried to dismiss it, all of that, but kids talk. Kids, she's 10. I don't remember how old I was, but I think I didn't believe anymore at 10. Listen, the only one that believed until he was like 20 was my husband. Okay. Everybody else, that's a little old. Honestly, my mother-in-law will say, he believed till he was 20. No, he was playing you till he was 20. But, and he still kind of says that he believed for a long time, but I don't know how much of that was true, but
I feel
anyway,
like, with kids, I
yeah,
guess we want to preserve
yeah.
that
Like
innocence and
Thomas was like,
that,
I don't like that she knows. What about the magic of Christmas? And he
yeah,
didn't want to tell her, but I'm like, I also don't want like for some guy to come on Roblox and tell her I'm Santa. Oh, you know what I mean? Like it's just a
right.
different. Like, I don't know. I guess it's different times. So he told her, I don't want you to stop believing in the magic of Christmas. She goes, I won't. But then I thought about it. And I'm like, okay, so we had a little bit of a talk back and forth about the Christmas thing the other day. And I told her, yeah, she goes, I knew it. So you guys have been getting all the stuff. And I go, yeah. And then I thought, you know what? This may not be bad because again, she's a good kid and she's very conscious, like about things. So I thought, this is kind of good because maybe she'll understand why we can't buy $5,000 worth of, like she'll understand that we just don't have the money, to fund her a $5,000 Christmas. I thought she comes with a big ass Christmas. So yeah, the size of the list didn't change that much, regardless of the buyer. But anyway, I guess it did a little bit, but yeah, not as much as I hoped.
Well,
So this morning, my phone was out of battery, and she doesn't use her phone at school, but she takes it with her, so she has it off inside her book bag. My phone died, so I said to her, "Hey, can I borrow your phone so I'm not without a phone?" Oh, but my phone is fully charged, and then I can't play with it while I'm waiting for you outside at car line. And I said, Chloe, you're gonna seriously leave me without a phone because of the 5 minutes that you get to play with it in car line? She's like, because she's 10, but she's a preteen, so to speak. Like everything's a tragedy. And then she goes, fine. And I said to her, you know what? Do you remember the Santa talk that we had? Yeah, I pay for that phone every month. And guess what? I also bought it. And while we were running around in iPhones 11, you got an iPhone 13. So guess what? I'm keeping it today. I'm like, she goes, okay. She just started laughing.
must have been like,
okay.
Okay.
She goes, okay. And she just started laughing. But yeah, I thought that was funny.
That's too much.
This
My
kid.
little Chloe.
Oh, I'm not gonna. So I don't want you to stop believing in them. I won't. Here's my list.
Did it roll out?
No,
Was it
actually wasn't.
long?
It wasn't that bad, but I will tell you, I don't know where to stick more stuff. Like she has a small room that she has like 15 squishmallows. I don't know if you know what those are,
Sí.
but like nothing else fits in that room. Like it really doesn't. I really don't even know what I'm doing. I'm thinking of. I want to build her a she shed, or like buy her a she shed. You know what I mean, for the backyard, and actually put insulation and AC in it, or a fan, and have like a little, almost like a tree house, but without the tree, and put a lot of her, like a hangout. But they're very expensive. But I would love to have a thing like that for her, so she could be outside, and we'll see. You got anything
That
to
would be
add?
cool. No, that's it. That's pretty much it. So, guys, next week we'll be back.
fully back. Yes.
Yeah. So check out our videos. Hopefully, you got to catch up on some of them if you haven't seen them, and you can see Justin and Angel. Little tidbits from Thanksgiving break. And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. So don't forget, follow us, subscribe, like. No se te va a caer el dedo. Go like this, tiki, and like.
Comment, share.
Yeah, man. Come
And
on.
we're, as usual, we always tell you guys, but we are on most of the podcast platforms. We are in Apple, we're in Google, we are in Amazon, and you can also follow us on YouTube, and we are also all over social media. And we've been debating of whether to go back into TikTok, because I'm not too much of a fan, but we're looking into that as well. So we are all over the place.
I feel like we keep on repeating that, and we still not. Yes, and we still haven't decided.
I just feel like most of the people on TikTok are mentally deranged. Like I don't know that I want to be associated with a lot of
shit.
Did I say that aloud? Like,
oh, I don't mind it, but the whole thing of security purposes and TikTok being such a
that kind of bothers me a little bit. And then I don't know, whenever I'm scrolling through TikTok, which I never really go on TikTok, but I get notifications sometimes, I feel like it's it's almost pornographic. I don't understand if it's the algorithm, which I don't know why the algorithm wants to show me tits and ass, because definitely not what I'm interested in. I don't, but it gets really annoying after a while.
Te tienen confundida. Oh my God.
Por favor. Vaya.
Eso?
I know. I don't know. But
yeah, we'll
figure it out.
I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Ay, se me ven las canas. Mira eso.
No. Nada.
Mira esto. Mira esto. Qué horror. You haven't seen, I cut my hair, chopped it off.
I did see. I was going to ask you. Yeah, it's very short. It's a lot shorter. Yeah, I like it.
Me lo corté para la mierda.
I need to, I have major canas too. The thing is with mine is you can see them a lot on the top. You actually see them in here. Is where you mostly see them. But I'm dying to just color my hair the black color. That's my natural color, which is usually what I color. And I just want to get rid of those streaks that I put in, because now they're getting brassy. They're no longer that honey color that they were supposed to be. Now they're getting brassy. And I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that shit or money. So, tinte negro coming soon.
That's one of the reasons I went back to, because I had a little bit of,
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
It doesn't get the color that I really want.
That's the whole thing. That if it would get the color that I want, then maybe it would, but it doesn't. And then overall, it just, no. So, yeah.
Y con el tiempo se pone así medio raro, no sé.
Yeah.
Y ahora, mira, el tinte, el que me hice último, no me lo dejé mucho tiempo, right? So, mira, tengo roots that are lighter than my hair. ¿Qué es eso?
which is very unlikely because usually it's the other way
Mira,
around.
look.
Yeah.
You
Have
see
you
it?
ever tried? I'm dying to try Madison Reed. I'm a little weirded out by paying so much for,
Sí, no. Oh my God, no. Sí.
especially with like having to do it myself. But I'm really curious. I almost want to do it just once to see if it's what's the hype. See if it's worth it. I don't even know what it
Habría que ver.
costs. I looked into it once and
Sí,
it
pero
was,
no es un tinte whatever.
yeah,
Es carito.
yeah. So I don't know. I want a really good one, but like dark, like my hair color. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, guys, we went off
Anyways,
the rails and talked about,
no, but that's
la gente
fine.
debe estar
That's
diciendo, ¿y estas dos locas?
y esta dos loca de que no. I honestly, I think it's good. It's kind of like we've always said that we talk a little bit about everything, menopause, hair dye. It doesn't really all good.
Yeah, I had someone ask me, oh, what's your podcast about? And I said, well, mainly is
And you're like,
autism.
oh shit. I
See, yes, I had that reaction. I was like, bueno, mainly is about autism, pero hablamos mucha mierda.
yeah, but I think it's more. Did you tell them that? They were like, sold. I'm gonna watch it.
They were like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And I started, laughing and I said, well, we talk about everything, family life. Um,
Yeah.
but mainly autism and what we go through. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we're not technical. We're not, it's just what we know, what happens in our lives, what,
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're like,
Right.
ah, okay. Pero, pero lo dije, hablamos
Yeah.
mucha mierda porque
I feel
I
like.
gotta tell you, one of the reasons we started all this,
Mhm.
we started all this because we wanted to do something like this. And we
Right.
have been talking about it for a long time. And then the whole deal with, Justin and going to the hospitals and he was not taken care of. Because Missy over here, I mean, I think we talked about this before.
Yes.
But
It was
Missy
that
over here,
video. Yes. That
yeah,
I think
she didn't want
really.
to be on video.
Yeah.
And that's why we would be like going around it and around and around. And I'm like,
Right.
she wanted to do only audio.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, let's do both. And she's like, no, que no sé qué, que no sé cuánto. Y finalmente, when you did that video, I said, listen, bitch,
I don't want any excuses now.
no
Yeah.
more excuses. You did
Yeah.
great with that video. So
Right.
no more excuses. And the other reason that we did it, it was because one time, ¿te acuerdas? Sergio was saying, you guys, he was
Yeah.
listening to us.
We were all over the place. It's like I remember it was like kind of like even with. I mean, I'm going off the rails again, but like keeping up with the Kardashians, right? I think the way
Right.
that was actually born was because of their experiences when they would get together as a family were so off the rails and just insane. And the fact that they are moneymakers and, obviously, and they had ideas and they got with Ryan Seacrest and all that other stuff. I mean, of course, all that helped, and then
See,
and her sex
all
tape,
of
and her sex
course.
tape, every little bit
Yeah,
helped.
there were little things that helped there,
I'm not about to release one of those, but
Ni yo tampoco.
but they'll run in the opposite direction if I release one. But anyway,
It's
but
not
yeah,
gonna
a
help
lot
us.
of those things are born by just listening to people like chit chat or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
maybe we need to record this.
exacto.
So,
So he was like, you guys, like, no me acuerdo qué más estaba diciéndonos. He goes, you're somewhat entertaining.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
that was fun.
really? Huh? All
Yeah,
right.
it was something like that.
All right.
All
right,
righty, guys. So we've got to go, but
We said
we
it
will
was
be
going to
back
be a
next
quick
week.
one, but,
No, that never happens.
I try to be quick.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
the shoe fits.
Just saying. I try. I try.
I know.
Do you try?
I try, but I'm not very successful. I got
All
to
right.
go.
We gotta go. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah,
Bye.
mwah, 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 mwah.
See you
And
all
have a
next
great one.
week. Bye.
See you next Friday.